Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this fucking world. My name is ScottyLazer, and here with me today
is Mitchell Booth. What is going on, everybody?
Mitch, why don't you introduce yourself? Because you're behind the scenes a lot, and
Yeah,
I feel
people
like
don't.
some people know who you are. Uh, you
Yeah, I mean,
know,
I guess Supporter Sunday. That's pretty much about it when we play games and so forth. But yeah, so I guess I can start with that real quick. Yeah, the manager, slash editor slash pretty much every name you could think of, just kind of being creative and helping out Scott and you know really pushing him to do better and to get out there and because he deserves to be seen. So we've been working together, I don't know what, probably 6 months now, really. I would say for 3, like really hard,
yeah,
really trying. But
no, I agree with that. Honestly, 110%. And then for those that don't know who I am, because we are going to be uploading this podcast, which this is something new to myself. I've always wanted to start a podcast. I've always wanted to do something that was more audio based. We are going to have a video too. So for those that are watching on YouTube, we do appreciate that. For watching live on Twitch,
thank
we
you,
do want to
thank you.
catch this show live on Twitch as well. We are testing it out for this week to see if we want to continue to doing a daily show, which I think we are going to be doing that. And it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the LazerBean podcast.
But a Friday 9:30 to 10:30.
Correct. Yeah, 9:30 to 10:30 on Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6:20 a.m. until about 7 a.m.
Yeah,
But
started a
yeah,
little late today.
yeah, a little late today. It's the first day though, so it's okay. But for those that don't know who I am though, my name is ScottyLazer. I'm a content creator, Twitch streamer, as well as a YouTuber. I've been doing this now for a solid 6 months and wanted to branch out into something a little different and kind of get my feet wet in another industry side that I've always been interested in. But have never actually taken the leap of faith to be able to just jump feet first in. Besides all those things that I listed before, I'm also a voice actor as well for over 7 years, being featured in some video games commercials. So for me, being behind a microphone is very natural. For Mitch here, he's been by my side and helping me throughout this whole craziness here. And I wanted him to be involved with this. And, we're going to kind of see where it goes and see what we think about it, honestly.
Yeah, and just send it and try new things out. I guess that's the whole point. Just expand and grow where we can. And I think that the podcast is a fantastic idea, especially for someone like you,
Yeah,
uh,
no, exactly.
with the
And
voice being your niche. So
the LazerBean podcast is what you're listening to today, and I'm very excited about the name. We created that name honestly almost out of thin air.
dude,
Honestly, in
like
a weird way.
it hit us, man.
It was like we were talking about it. We were designing the logo. The logo is actually still being worked on right now. So this logo that we have up here right now is a temporary logo, but I really like it though. Honestly, I think it's really cool and it's exciting. So we are streaming this live, like I mentioned before. So when we talk to people here in chat, like my friend Aggie's here hanging out with us now. Welcome in, man. How are you today? That's where that kind of chat's coming in from. So if you do want to watch this live on Twitch, it's the best and easiest way to interact. Like I said, we will be putting this on other platforms as well, so they can be able to enjoy it there. But yeah, today though, we're going to be talking about some COVID, some
Well, wait.
Halloween. Oh yeah, go ahead.
We could. Dude, I just want to say we could go that route, but then
Right.
I was thinking, I mean, it's episode 1. We're winging it. You guys are
Of
here. We're
course.
just starting our days, and I mean, honestly, bro, you said something to me where, like, I kind of want to hear your story, my guy. Like, how you got into the voice acting scene. Like where it all started. You know, uh,
Hmm.
and then maybe I can in turn I could share how I got into editing. You know, what jobs or anything like that. What helped you get into this creative mindset and really go after it and try to push yourself. I feel
Yeah,
like that would be a really
man.
interesting thing. I mean, or we could continue. I just kind of thought of it on the spot. It's up to you, my guy. But I thought that'd be like some, and plus I feel like that's something people would want to hear.
I am more
I
than
know I
happy to
do.
talk about my background in this industry a bit more. So, for myself at least, I have always been a big fan of voice acting and constantly into TV shows as well as cartoons ever since, honestly, I was a child, man. I remember waking up literally at like 5 a.m. To go to work with my mom, she worked at a racetrack. Not the gas station, but an actual horse racetrack.
No way, that's such a cool
um,
job.
for over 20 years, man. Crazy. Such a strong person. But yeah, I remember waking up though every morning, and Sherlock Holmes, the animated series, was the first thing that I watched in the morning. Yo, also, Mr. Jingle, thanks so much for the follow as well. Do appreciate that. I didn't set up alerts. I feel terrible. I did forget to set up alerts as
Oh
well.
no.
So if those do go off, I will definitely take a look at it as well. But so from there, I always just had the drive and the passion behind this, and I really wanted to do it. So my mom was actually the one that kind of pushed me to be able to be like, hey, why don't you try something? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And I remember being on YouTube for the first time. I was playing Minecraft, and this guy, Joe Nades, reached out to me. And Joe Nades, for those that don't know, is actually my best friend now to this day of over, 11, 12 years now we've known each other.
Super
And
chill
he was
guy. Shout out to
working,
Joe.
yeah, shout out to Joe. He was working with this company called Mystery Gamers. And he was like the recruiter for it. He was like 15 years old. so
Really?
so
Like they just up and coming, just started, kind of like like you know, would you like? Did you take it seriously when he approached you, or did you take it from like a, well, whatever, like I'll try this, but I mean I'm not expecting anything from it.
I was really excited about it, honestly. Because he was 15, I was 17 at the time. And
Right.
I was like, oh, wow. I was like, this actual company is reaching out to me and wanting to work together. I was like, I would love to work together. So Joe brought me in and he interviewed me, and he's like, tell me why you want to become a content creator. And I explained it a little bit more. And I was like, I love, my answer was like, I love Minecraft. I love, I love,
Typical 17-year-old nerd
yeah, I was
answer.
like, I love Minecraft, and they were just like, oh, well, your voice is amazing, it's got the deep bass that we really were looking for, and brought me on, and we did some videos for a while, and I slowly became Joe's friend, and then we became best friends, and just continued to push forward, and we created some extra content, not related to that company. Created a little Minecraft fucking music video. Maybe we'll put a
Which I
little clip
have
of that
seen.
up.
Yeah, we could do a little. I'd be
Um,
want to. I mean, if you could find it real quick,
yeah. I'll see if I can find it real fast. Or if you want to search for it, Mitch,
dude.
I'll continue
I
to
don't know.
talk.
Yeah, I got you. Go for it.
It's called We Will Mine. It's a Minecraft parody. Which I created at age 17, 18 years old is when I created that fucking thing.
Is it? Who's it by?
It's called Short Stuff 8753.
Okay.
So anyways, continuing from there, I then started to really get into voice acting though when I wanted to start looking for more gigs outside of YouTube. And it actually is crazy because at my past job when I was working at the bank, I met a voice actor named Don Capone. And he was the one that really got me into this scene of, hey, your voice is really good for commercials, video games. You should really try this, or you should try that.
Okay, time
And-
out. Time out.
Yeah,
time
yeah,
out,
go
time
ahead.
out.
Oh, we find
You're
the
like-
video?
I did. I just dropped the link in the chat if you guys want to see that. But you're going way too fast here. Okay, you're talking Don Capone here, bro. Like, I'm not a voice actor, and I know
Right.
who that is. Slow it down. How'd you get that gig? But before even that, like, my question is, like, what, like, and you'd said your mom had inspired you,
Right.
and kind of said to you, like, hey, maybe there's something here for you.
Yeah.
Well, at what moment was it? Did she realize that, or did you realize it? Like, what did you do for that? Like, was it just your everyday talking to her and personality that got that vibe from you and that kind of inspiration, or did you used to do things or a certain type of thing, that she saw you do and correlated that with voice acting, and then in turn told you about it and pushed you to do it?
I don't know. I feel like it was like a mixture of both, right? So like I would go around constantly like imitating the commercials. So like a commercial for a rash cream would come up, right? And it would be like,
Just jokingly mimic it.
hydrocortisone cream. Please use on the directed area 7 to 3 times a week, and I would just do that often. And then like, like the like Batman would come on in the background, right? Kevin Conroy is the Batman of all Batmans,
Yeah,
right?
the OG Batman.
The OG Batman was on in the background, and I was obviously a little younger, so it was like, it's not like I'm Batman, it wasn't that, but it was like more like I'm Batman, and I would like
No, but you were
constantly try to
trying.
like imitate it, and I would be able like, I would always try to like reach those extra boundaries of like, oh man, like I want to be able to do this, and like, when those shows would come on, I'd be like, I wouldn't ask myself, it wouldn't be so much of, oh, I want to voice act. It was more of like, who does those voices, right? And then I would start researching it at my library, of all places, because I
Is
didn't
this
have
your
a computer
whole time?
growing up.
And what age are you when you're talking about this? Like,
At
how old
this
are you?
point, I'm probably 7 to 8 years old, right?
Researching about voice acting.
Researching about voice actors, going behind the scenes about the voice actors, like really, really curious about like, who does this voice. And then I would find out, this actor off the top of my head, Tom Kenny, right? Voice of SpongeBob, for those that don't know. I would
did
find
not.
out that he was, in this other show, and I was like, oh wow, that's why I recognize that voice. Or the guys from Futurama, God, I cannot remember now. On a blank.
No, but I understand what you're saying. I just was trying to like slow you down a little because you kind of skipped that part, and it was so basically,
Billy
your
West. Billy West. Billy West. Billy
gotcha.
West, a great voice actor. Billy West. He inspired me honestly a lot. Right, Billy West was a huge inspiration to me.
And what
He
has he been on?
he has voiced our childhood, and you wouldn't even know it. He voiced Ren and Stimpy. He was Bugs Bunny. He's the fucking red M&M, for those that don't know. He's Dr. Zoidberg.
I know 3 of the 4 there.
Yeah. He's
The
he's
first one, I
he's
don't know if
Fry
we're in the
from
same era for the
Futurama.
childhood.
Yes. And he's also Doug from
Up,
from Doug.
Doug
Doug.
from Up.
Doug, this shut up. Yeah, he's the fucking
He's the
dog.
dog, dude.
Yeah, he's the But no,
Dude,
just like
that's
those
my
kind of
favorite.
shows to me were just so cool, and like when I learned who the voice actor was, just such a cool experience. There's another great documentary that really inspired me as well. I Know That Voice. That was a documentary that they did together, all of the voice actors back in 2013.
They just got a huge group of them together.
Oh yeah, it was like this crazy big group. It was like John DiMaggio, Hank Azaria, Tara Strong, Mark Hamill, Steve Bloom, like these huge voice actors.
A lot of big names.
Yeah, like for those that don't know, John DiMaggio, big Futurama person, Hank Azaria, fucking The Simpsons, Billy West, we went over him, Tara Strong, Teen Titans, and different
What
other
a good show, bro. By the way,
great show. Mark
I
Hamill,
love
we
that
all know Mark Hamill. That's Star Wars. That's fucking our
Yeah.
boy Luke there. But Mark Hamill, though, another great actor, too, though. And that's the other thing, too, right? When I started learning about voice acting, it was more than just making a funny voice, right? Like most people, when you think of voice acting, your first thought always goes to, oh, well, what kind of funny voice can I make? It doesn't matter about that, right? It's all about the actual acting side of it, which is what the hardest point for me to learn was.
Yeah, it's not what what you can say. It's meaning what you say in a
Right,
sense, and
exactly.
and bringing it to light.
And I've grown tremendously, I think, as an actor as well, because like I can now read a script and it not sound like a script, right? Like that's the hardest thing is to like look at those words without saying those words. Like,
Right, right. No, in a sense, and I get what you're saying because growing up, yeah, I'm not proud, but I was one of those like nerdy kids, and was in drama and did some acting and so I'm familiar with that, like and that's like really like that's really who you could tell was above the others were the people that could really make the words jump off the page.
right,
and
right.
and like I'm at the time 13, 14, and no, not even, I'm probably 9, 10, and even then I'm looking at people like that's acting, like
Yeah,
that's what it's supposed to be right there. Okay, so now jumping forward,
right.
Don Capone, bro. How
Al
did that go
Capone.
about? How did that go about? What did you do? How did you find your? Was it just you walked into them on the street? What happened? Tell me.
So Don Capone is a really good friend of mine, a really, really helpful friend. He's actually the one. This is actually his microphone originally. He was the one that helped me pick out everything for this setup. I went to his house, but before even
No
going to his
way.
house, though, I met him when I was working at the bank. So for those that don't know, I actually worked at the bank. I'm not gonna say which bank, but I did work at a bank for the longest time. That's actually where I met Mitch
Yeah, I was just gonna
as
say we could
well. Like,
sidetrack and talk
yeah.
about that. That's how we met each other. Was probably 2.5 years ago now, right?
Yeah, no, it's like, yeah, about that now. And Don Capone though is just was a radio head before he was a voice actor, right? So like a lot of these voice actors were in radio before, like they were just starting out. They were just some fucking coffee runner at a radio spot, right?
Right,
And
right.
radio now is making the change, right, from being on the actual radio to now being in a podcast form or the Joe Rogan experience
Right,
or,
right. Well,
you
because it's
know,
the times, bro. I mean, like
correct.
when Don Capone was growing up, there wasn't a lot of TV, Twitch, none of this. No, you know what I mean? So they had the radio, and that's what they. And then now, if you're not switching, you're behind in a sense.
No, exactly. Um, and it's just the cool transition, Howard Stern, another great person that it would definitely be there for that backing as well. It's just changed, right? So it's either you saddle up and you're fucking going with it, or you're getting left behind, right?
Pretty
Like
much.
that's
I mean, but
that's the
that's in
truth,
any field of any
right?
direction. But
Of
anyway,
course.
so you keep going about Mr. Capone here.
Yeah.
I want to.
So anywho, so Don Capone, I met him at the bank, and my friend Bill at the time, who was another banker, introduced me, and he goes, "Hey, this is Don Capone." Um, Don Capone.
Did you know? Like, did you wake up that morning? You're like, all right, today I'm meeting Don Capone,
No, it was
or was it just
random.
like
It was
right you
random. I was
walked in?
not expecting it at all. We were talking about him so much that I think the world just gave it to him at that point. Like they're like, man, you've been talking about this guy for weeks. Let's make it
It's like
happen.
it's like he heard you.
He
There's just
heard
so
me.
much
Yeah, he heard
disturbing.
me. He
His
heard
name
me
was said so much.
narrating his life. And
Yeah,
you all
dude.
think that I have a deep, sexy voice. This man is another animal. He's crazy. Let me pull up a.
Me
I'm gonna
too.
pull up a video quick. We'll watch the other video too here. But for those that know body armor, that's the name of the drink. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don Capone did the body armor with all those famous fucking super athletes. Like he does the voiceover for that show or for that drink.
No, dude. I mean, I'm not like huge into the area, but I know who he is. You know.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Um, so it's just really cool to be a part of something like that. But then, like, once I met Don Capone, it's like, once you meet one person, they're always happy to introduce you to other people if they like you, right? So, like,
right,
after
right.
I met Don Capone, I then met Dan Watts, who's the voice actor for the Buffalo Bills. When the Buffalo Bills are coming out and there's a new Windows tablet, Dan Watts is the guy announcing that. And
Wow,
then
man.
I met Jeff McNeil after that, which he did the trailer for Frozen. I'm just trying to name a few things off the top of my head that people would know.
No, I mean
Um,
that's wild. If you don't know Frozen, you're behind the times, like they say.
exactly. So, and it was just cool to be able to start meeting these people and like connecting the dots and be able to be in Skype calls with them and just, and just have them there as friends. Not even to be like, I want your information, right? I was just learning constantly on my own, just being in the same room as them.
Well, the thing
It was
is
like,
with people like that, that's their whole life.
right,
So I feel like it's easy to learn because they enjoy like sharing in a sense. Oh, I could be wrong, but I mean that's what you guys bonded over. That's what your friendship was based around. So it was. I mean,
exactly.
it's like you didn't even have to ask. Like he was just kind of, come with me, Scotty, and this is the way. This is the way.
This is the way.
I mean, essentially, sorry about that. Essentially, yeah. But that's crazy, man. So let me ask you this: are you like in touch with any of these people today? Do you still chat? Do you still update, or is it
Oh yeah, we
kind of
still text
faded?
each other occasionally. It's we're both obviously. I'm taking it a different direction now, right? I'm still
Right, right.
definitely interested in the voice acting scene. Myself, I have kind of put it on the back burner though. Due to COVID, that has kind of changed a few things for me because for the longest time I was actually unemployed, so I couldn't have any money coming in from anywhere. At that time, it would like fuck up my unemployment. So I had to
Right.
choose like, do I do 1 gig, 2 gigs, maybe a month and fuck my unemployment up? Or it's like, do I put it all on the back burner for now just to be safe? I could have played it two different ways. I went the safe route myself. Some people may have went the dangerous route. But I think it started to work out though. Now I have you know, a decent job, and now I'm able to come back to it full swing.
Right.
It's something that you can leave and come back to, right? It
Right.
takes a moment to rebuild back up those
Well, and I would
contacts.
say you
but-
really haven't even fully left it. I mean, you are
correct. Yeah.
still. I mean, that's what makes you stand out. That's what makes you special. In my opinion, that's your niche. That's your voice.
Right.
And I'll never forget it. I mean, and that's why like some know like when we first met at the bank, right? I sat down and you started talking, and right away in the back of my mind, I was like, this guy's got like that golden voice, and then we started talking. I was like, by the way, do you stream? Because I just had a feeling, bro. Like I got
Yeah.
that kind of vibe, and you're like, actually, well, yeah, I do. Here, check it out. You wrote it down. I gave you
Like
mine.
scratched it on a fucking like napkin or something.
Yeah,
I
or
think.
a little note stick it or whatever,
Mhm.
and and I wrote down mine, but I at the time not even now. I just did it, as everybody else does it. I didn't see
Right.
it as a job. I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna stream, but you know, turning it on. But I'll never forget the one thing that you told me. This is what wraps back to it is in this scene or in this area of content creation or streaming or whatever. You have to have your niche. You have to have something that makes you stand out,
Right.
make you different, and that's yours, man. Is your voice. So I don't think you have left it. Like it's not on the back burner. It's just now a different route through it.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. It's just, it's different. So
Right.
it's
It's
just
not a full acting part of it, but you're
right.
definitely using your voice through, and in turn, it might open up opportunities later down the line.
Right. Exactly. No, and it's a cool thing to be a part of, honestly. Nevertheless, right? Nevertheless, I can say with a whole heart that, I've been there. I did it, and it was such a cool experience, and it's still something I'm chasing till today.
Right.
So,
Right.
more YouTube content would be a big help. Yeah, no, we definitely agree with that, Trig. It's something we're trying to work on, wholeheartedly, honestly, and that's another big thing is that we're trying to keep pushing for that extra content on YouTube, and that's the big thing is
Not even that,
never
but
stop making content, right?
everywhere, not just
Yeah.
YouTube, everywhere.
Right. Like we're working on TikTok, Instagram, fucking the nines. Like we're working on all of them 24/7, man. We're always trying to figure out the next thing that we can do, right? What's the next different thing that we can be doing that'll help separate us a little bit more. And that's the
Right.
biggest thing is to continue to separate And this is another part of it, right? The LazerBean podcast. You know, there's a lot of podcasts out there, but we're different.
Yeah,
Gucci Mane.
yeah. I mean, like you're here, man. Like
Right.
it's centered around you. It's focused around you, and
Let's
you're
talk
different,
briefly.
and you're good, and you're good at voice acting, and you have a great voice, and so that's something that you bring to the podcast area that people can't. I mean, some people do, and some people don't.
Right. Let's talk briefly about you, Mitch, as well. I feel like I took the floor most of the time here.
No, dude, but it's your place.
Talking
I don't
about,
mind.
you
I
know,
don't
talking
mind.
about
I'm here
who
to
I
guide.
am.
Yeah, I mean,
Who are
briefly.
you, Mitch? Who are you to the people?
Hi,
Who are you?
hi,
If
my
you,
name's Mitch.
I'm a
I've been
bitch.
drinking for about no, I'm just you know, I born and raised Florida boy.
Right.
First of all, represent, but not Southern Florida. I would say Orlando, so like suburb Florida. So not So I didn't go country boy anything like that. Growing up, I loved playing video games, and then
Mm.
about I want to say age 8 or 9, I bought a longboard, and
And that was it. That was your story,
no,
bro.
dude, no, this I promise you, this makes sense, dude. This makes sense. I bought a longboard, okay,
Right.
absolutely loved it,
Yeah.
and then my friend got one, and then my other friend got one, and the next thing you know, we had like 5 or 6 of us on longboards, trying to find hills in Florida, which in Orlando.
That's
in
fucking
Winter Park.
impossible.
It's exact, dude. I can tell you about every hill in Winter Park, and that's because there's only 3, and we used to go to all of them. But
Huh.
to the point where we so much enjoyed it that I was like, you know what? We were getting good. We started teaching ourselves tricks,
Right.
power slides, 180s, all this stuff, to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a camera and I'm gonna start recording this. So the next thing we know, we started making videos. And at this time I have no idea what I'm doing. It's the first time ever using an editing software of any kind. I think I started out with like iMovie or something like that. It was just taking longboard clips of me and my buddies, just like, we're thinking it's like so dope, right? And it's like us going like 3 miles an hour, like doing a 180 or something, you know. But that's where I really started to get into editing and video production, I guess, in a sense, and almost like directing, I would say, because my buddies would come down the hill and I'd be like, all right, this is where the shot is. Now make sure you do the trick right about here, so we get it on camera right about here. Like even then is when it started to develop, and that was probably middle school, 12 years
Right.
old. And then I put it on the back burner. I had some rough times with family growing up, and then didn't really touch it until I would say about 2 years ago. Kind of got back into the scene, really honestly with you,
Right.
and then picked up a job working for Robin Live. I don't know. I mean, if you play Tarkov, if you Daisy, I'm sure you've heard of him, but worked with him for a little bit. But it's weird because it was almost like I enjoyed it, but that it wasn't a challenge like this is, in a sense, where like we're trying to get you out there. And it
Right.
was like I enjoyed it, but like this is just another level of motivation, So I worked with him for a little, and then kind of fell through. But yeah, man, I guess that's my story. I mean, I could go more in depth, but I don't know. What do you want to know about? That's pretty much the whole editing, management, social media kind of, area of how I got into that stuff of video producing and video production. But
Oh yeah, I think that's a great introduction to yourself, man. You're a jack of all trades, a master of none, in my opinion. So you try to you really strive to learn as much as you can, right? Because this is a new scene to you yourself and mine, and we're still trying to figure out the algorithms. We're still trying to figure out fucking
absolutely,
everything, and we're still trying to figure out the whole
it's a learning curve. I
yeah
mean,
the whole content creation. Like, still learning. And it is such a weird and crazy thing to figure out, honestly.
yeah,
Like it is.
yeah, you think you understand it, and then you don't.
Yeah. No matter how many videos we watch, no matter how many how
It can't
much
prepare
shit
you.
we
It's
figure
almost one
out,
of those things that like I'm starting to realize. It's like all these people release these videos to obviously get paid to get views, but it almost comes down to it's just it's you got to figure it out for yourself in a sense. I feel like that's what I'm kind of getting in a sense.
Right.
You have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, no, and I think we're on the right track here, as Trig says. And also, thank you guys so much for the follows in the background. By the way, I apologize. I'm gonna fix the alerts as soon as tomorrow. I feel bad. This is still something that we're still learning
Yeah,
here,
this
and
is day one.
it's day one of the podcast. With the stream is a little different at night because I'm awake, and it's already set up. I've already had it set up for so long. I think we are on the right track too, though. Something that we kind of found the niche that we needed to start with, right? Is GTA. Grand Theft Auto 5 is the main game that I play on this channel, and it's weird, but it works though for now, right? Like I get to do a lot with the voice acting and a lot to be able to act a little bit, right? With GTA RP, it truly is like a
It's acting.
stepping
It's GTA
forward.
acting.
Yeah, it's GTA acting. Is it the best gig in the world? No, not at all. But it's a stepping stone, and I enjoy it, and I think it's really fun. Will I be doing it for 20 years? Probably not. No, but is it the first year or two of my career of online YouTube entertainment and content creation? Probably, honestly, yeah, and it's a great thing to be a part of. I get to create so many different things with that game. It's almost like having an unlimited budget in a weird way. That's also why I've been such a big fan of animation for such a long time, because you can create anything you want in animation, right? If I want a dinosaur to fucking chase me down the road with animation, it's possible. With fucking, live action, yes, CGI is a huge thing, but it's so much more expensive, so much more out of my realm of expertise, and it's just so cool though to just be able to connect those kind of two things.
To have the world at your fingertips in a
Right,
sense.
exactly, correct. So it's just a cool thing to be a part of, honestly, and it's something that I'm excited about, and I'm really ready for. Man, I cannot wait till Friday, personally, man. This podcast, I'm having so much fun with it. We're going to be ending pretty soon, unfortunately. We have to call it a day here because I have to get to work for the main job. But, slowly that'll be changing, hopefully, as we continue to grow and as we continue to produce more and more content. That's the goal, obviously, is to make this a full-time gig. Friday, though, we are doing an hour-long podcast, which I'm excited for. And then tomorrow we'll be back for the episode 2, honestly.
Yeah,
episode 2, and then episode 3 after that. We're doing them daily, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6:20 a.m. until 7 a.m. So we will be on time tomorrow, we promise.
Yes.
With everything set up correctly, and we'll have everything fixed. But we really do appreciate you guys hanging out with us and having a good time here. If you have any suggestions of what you'd like to talk about, or you want us to talk about, or if you have any questions a little bit more about myself or Mitch that you want us to answer or go more in depth, then please feel free to comment them in the comments or live here on Twitch. We are reading chat. I'm not gonna be always reading it out loud like I normally do on my stream, just because I don't want to go off of off focus there, or off topic too much. But we really appreciate each and every one of you guys watching and having fun here with us, and we're excited for episode 2. So,
do you post yours? So, we're actually gonna do it through Anchor, and we're gonna, I think, try to post it on all platforms. So YouTube, if we can get on Apple Music, hopefully Spotify. Anchor is an app as well, right, for podcasts? Or is it
I think Anchor posts them all.
Oh, it posted.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Could be wrong, but yeah, no, we should be able to post it. Yeah, we're planning on posting it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere podcasts are found. Honestly, we're gonna find a way in. We're just gonna fucking leave our podcast right there.
Right, and then today's podcast, if you're just tuning in now, we're gonna upload it to the YouTube channel, !YT. That'll probably be uploaded here in the next hour. Truthfully, I think I'm just gonna throw it up there raw and cut. Because it was a real good topic, and I think we did. I think went really well, and like you said, I also really enjoyed it. I think at 6:20 in the morning, I did not expect us to have this in depth, and
Right.
deep conversation right off the bat on episode 1. So I think it worked out really well. But yeah, that will be uploaded there, and then the rest of the podcast, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to look in more in depth, on Spotify, on the other platforms, is what I meant by the rest of the podcast. But that should be, if we can do it by the end of the day, I would say by 5 o'clock, those should be up.
If you figure out a way to get a chat window, if you're gonna do uncut, yeah, that's a good thing actually. Yeah, we're like I said, it's still new to us. We're still trying to figure it out. This is kind of the end of the podcast here. We'll probably end up cutting a little bit of this part, but yeah, we're still trying to figure out, what exactly we want out of it, because like I said, we may not always get the chance to read chat, but eventually we want the capabilities for you all to call in the mornings. We really want this to be our radio show, right? We really want that to be like a daily radio show in a sense, less of a podcast, more of a show in a sense. So and then responding to a question, without reading it out loud, do exactly the opposite of what I just did. That's a great idea, man. No, that's a great idea, and
we do have a lot of blank space for that to fit in.
So But I really appreciate each and every one of you guys joining us this early in the morning. I didn't know how many people we were going to have watching live. I thought it was going to be more of an afterthought of people coming in and enjoying it after the fact when you're awake, like myself. But I do appreciate each and every one of you guys hanging out with me and my friend here, Mitch.
Thank you.
I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. My name's ScottyLazer. Mitch.
Till next time. My name's Mitch. We'll see you on the next one, folks. Tomorrow at 6:20 a.m.
6:20 a.m. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day.